This is hole one. It's about 240. I think that's what it says on UDisc. Just a par three down into an elevated basket, just kind of dead straight, kind of have a right side tree line that makes you kind of play a little bit of a hyzer, but you can really go dead straight at it. And I'm just going to throw a couple shots, a couple alpacas right here, dead straight at it. Little flip up. That should be pretty good. Ooh. That one's starting to get flippy on me. I'd say about 10 feet short of pin high right here, but I haven't really had the feel of this hole yet. I just really need to just kind of go dead straight at it, I think. More of a flat shot, but give it height. Just have it fade at the very end. Elevated basket about 25, 20. Look at it right here. There we go. And it's a birdie. Here's hole 2 at Seneca Champ. This is the white tee right here. I think I played the long tee by accident and I still got the birdie on the last hole, but just gonna throw a forehand. You go dead straight, and there's two little posts in the middle of the fairway right there. It cuts right. Again, about 350. Gonna play Swirly S-Blend Emperor on a forehand and just try to get it to push. Pushy fade of a forehand. Oh, that's way too inside. Oh yeah, well inside. I like something a lot straighter here. I'm gonna go to a S-Line DD3. Either one. It could be okay. Regardless of my position here, landed in the exact same spot. I don't know. I just kind of have to just throw the forehand either flatter, or I gotta try to turn over here because the power forehand's just not my game. Get a little pitch up here and throw a titanium zone, hopefully through the gap. That should be pretty good. Came in a little bit too hot, so now we got a awkward putt here. Got to straddle about 16 feet. There we go. That one's short. Here is hole 3 of Seneca Champ. This is the blue tee. It says 475 on the tee pad. A par 4 that pushes very straight, goes slightly left, and then you have a gap hit, a second gap hit for your approach into a guarded green. I'm going to throw an alpaca off the tee, try to go straight with a little bit of fade. Oh yeah, that should be fine. I think I control my distance pretty well. Should have at least a look at the gap. If you just follow these white spokes here, I like your chances of having a look at the basket. This is about 125 in, I think. Going a Exo Hard Vapor MD5 on a forehand. Nice and grabby plastic, should just be able to pump it out there and get a look. Nice and stable. Yep, that should be pretty good. Got a nice little flare. Yep, bullseye look on a hole that is really one of the more touchy, especially off the tee. But we take a birdie. Would you look at that? On top of the basket. Shattered disc. But right now that's 2 down through 3, which is not bad at all. This is hole 4 of Seneca Champ. This is the blue tee. It says 480 par 4 on the tee sign. I remember this hole goes straight and it doglegs right, continues to push to the right, and there is a really guarded green with a lot of rollaway potential and almost a ravine on the right side. But I'm going to throw a C-Blend Scepter. I'm worried that this course may have a lot of forehands, and that's just not part of my game, but C-Blend Scepter, pushing hyzer, maybe a little bit flat, just try to hug the inside a little bit, just focused on getting the fade. Well, we got a huge skip. That's either really good or I think maybe a little bit pushing the backside, but I really like that. That had some nice speed coming off of it. Landed in a pretty lucky part of the fairway, really flat, look straight at the basket. So, bring that back a little bit, move that. Titanium stone, nice and dead straight. Should be able to put a touch of anhyzer to control the speed. Say we got about 150, 175 in. Old forehand flexor. And stick. Yep, that should be wonderful, and we should have another birdie. Right over to the right of the basket right here, you can see the sheer drop off that you have, especially, and even behind the basket here, you can see I put a little bit too much juice on that head, some roll away potential, but still leaving us essentially in the bullseye. A lot of pine straw right here, so grabby disc could be the friend here. May need to bring out like a soft tactic for this type of shot. There we go. Good thing that caught. That was a little bit high, fast, and on hyzer, but there's another birdie. Here's hole 5 of Seneca Champ. This is, I'd say, a more iconic hole. You have really downhill, especially from the blue tee up there. We're playing the white tee with this hybrid layout, but got a pushing hyzer the entire way into a green that isn't really that guarded, but really low ceiling, really kind of tight fairway, what you'd expect off of a Carolina Woods course. So about 320 par 3. So I'm going to throw a couple alpacas at it and just try to get a pushing hyzer up there and then have a look at the birdie. Maybe a little bit too little juice. Yeah, we need a little bit something. We need something to glide a little bit more. So I just want to throw this a little bit flatter and then have it fade. A little flip up, miss everything. Not quite, but we still should have a look. Not too short, but about, I'd say about 38 to 40 feet right here. Just need to either throw a little bit less stable of a disc on that same line, or just give it a little bit more juice, hang it out more to the right, and then have it kind of fade about right here, and then skip up into the circle. What a run. That was a terrible run. But we should be able to take a really easy par. Hole 6 at Seneca Championship. This is a 420-foot par 4 on the blue tee right here. What excites me is this looks like a common S-curve. So if you can play a hyzer flip that's kind of inside but has some stability late, this could be an eagle look, and I think I saw that on coverage as well. So I'm going to try this with my Badanza Tour Series Halo S1 Sphinx. Little hyzer flip to turn, and maybe have a look at the eagle. If not, maybe it's too risky, I could just lay up with like a forehand or just a slower disc. Really lucky there, or maybe a Roman also. Like, this is chances if I can just get it on turn. That should be phenomenal. Oh my goodness, what a shot. So I was a bit wrong. This hole is more or less just like a dead straight, really tight gap hit for the eagle look instead of like a big turnover. So, I mean, this is pin high, just way, almost outside of the circle to the right of the basket. Oh my God. What a putt that would have been. Low ceiling spinner for an eagle, even though that was my third shot. But I just really wanted to show off the go for it line. This is hole 7 at Seneca Champ. This is a 225-foot par 3. This is the only tee pad. You'll find a creek near the basket on this hole. If you have a creek on any course in South Carolina, there will be a hole near it. And there will be a green designed around it. So I'm just going to throw the Halo Inblend Alpaca on a little bit of hyzer, maybe flat, just like spinny, kind of control the speed. Just up the gap that's right in front of me right here. It's really just a gap hit hole. If you hit the gap, you have a look. Is that too short? I hit something. Not sure. Go with the more stable one a little bit faster. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. A lot short. Yeah, all three of mine are safe, but this creek is like within 15 feet of where the basket is. I think if you can just aim at the big tree right there, then it should be okay. Have a look. Downhill, probably about 60. Early. Way early, too. Okay. Should be able to get up and down, though, for the par. There we go. 2 time for good luck. There we go. Here is hole 8. It's a par 4. It says 500 feet on the tee sign. Looks like it just goes pretty dead straight, and then it cuts up a hill to the left into a treacherous green. This looks like a poke and pray almost off the tee. Not really, though. There are defined gaps, just really hard to hit. I'm going to throw Skywalker 2, Color C Line, or Color Glow C Line FD1, a little bit straight on hyzer, and up the right side, and hopefully it's a good, maybe a little bit flat here. Is that just like the most wonderful shot ever? I'm not sure if that's short or it's really good. Turns out I pured the gap, and now I have almost a jump putt at the basket, but I'm gonna play a little flex standstill backhand up there and try to possibly give it a bid. Just try to float it up there, keep it safe. Oh, that's way too hard. Yeah, we'll have a tough look at the birdie. Put too much juice on that one. Probably if I'm in this position, throw like either just a hyzer here or just the flex forehand as before. Yeah, left with, say, 30, 33, the edge of circle comebacker now. I'd say like if I go past this, it's pretty forgiving. So I'm gonna run this with my fullest intent. Man, there was no intent in that. Got cocky off the tee shot, fluffy up shot, and now tapping in a bogey. That's unfortunate, but I was waiting for it to happen as this course is pretty wooded. So, I do not remember this hole this way. Hole 9, it's a 272-foot par 3. I'm kind of hesitant to really throw anything. Really tight gap. I see like a little bit of like a flex forehand that kind of pans out here on the right side, or like a pushing forehand on the left side. I kind of like the flex though better. I'm gonna try this and then like a flip up putter here. Titanium zone. Well, that's wonderful. Oh yeah, almost pin high right here. Like a 15-foot look. Get flatter. There we go. There's a nice birdie to bounce back on. Here's hole 10 at Seneca Championship. You see we have a tree in the middle due to Hurricane Helene. But this one is about 580, 590, par 4, I believe. The creek lines the right side of the fairway, and I'm assuming that will be OB the entire time. So you just want to push straight lines to the right into a guarded green. So I'm going to play my Metal Flake Glow Roman right here. Give it some height. I know it's a lot straighter, so I can trust that it'll still go straight and then fade, even though I have to give this one some height. Maybe a little bit too left. That still should be a forehand. I've faded into the hill. Hopefully that tree will be out by the time we hit to play that tournament. So we can just play like a straight hyzer. But we'll go see where we are. Just got to throw a little bit of a flex forehand right here. I say we got about 250 in. The same MD5. A little bit of flex. Didn't have it fade. Get right, get right, get right, get right, get right, get right. Okay, that should be a look. You know, preferably I want to be down here or in the flat part. But if not, oh well, gotta work with what we have. Okay, so I believe this is actually a par 5, and now I have about 80 feet for an eagle look. So, that's a thing. Hyzer putt, or just like, I'm gonna sling this one out right and hope it hyzers in. Be a highlight. Oh, come on. No. That's gonna be a tough birdie putt as well. Do I have a line? Yes. Is it easy? No. A disc wide gap right here for the birdie. Oh, come on. How do I hit this? How do I do that twice in a row? Man. Turned an eagle look into a par. Here is hole 11. It is a 195 foot par 3, and Jesus, look at this. Look at how you just throw straight up. So I'm gonna go all the way up to a distance driver, Emperor, forehand, just try to get it up there. Maybe. I don't know if I've had this type of forehand distance, but see if we can do it. I did it. Yes. You can tell how uphill that was. How out of breath I was. Jeez. Whew. But, you know, bullseye look. Man, it's got to be hard to come up here and stand up to like a 30-footer. Because, man, it is hard to putt after you're tired. Here is hole 12 on Seneca Champ. It is a 280-foot dead straight tunnel shot of a par 3. This is your Carolina Woods golf hole. So, I'm going to throw the alpaca again. This could be like a mid, but just going to try to give the alpaca some height. Stay right, or stay left. Whatever, I got it through. Got pretty lucky up the left side. Now, got to find some footing. Here we go. Should be routine. Hole 13, I believe this is the correct tee right here. It is downhill, goes dead straight, a little bit to the right, cuts back to the left. This is a par 4, I believe, like around 420 feet. So if you can, this is the eagle look. There's a Mando to the left, or you have to get right of the gap that's on the left over there. If you see the tree with the pink ribbon around it, there's a path to the left of that. And on that left path, the tree line has a Mando that you need to be right of. So I'm going to throw the same Skywalker that I've been throwing a little bit today. And just try to punch it a little bit of Anheuser and let it push. And see what it gets me. If not, if this is wrong tee pad, about 80 feet back. And it's essentially the same hole, just another 80 feet. Go, please. Gonna have to poke and pray down there. Really not sure if that's the tee pad we're actually playing, but I would essentially just go the same play, just a little bit more Anheuser. Pitch out here, I think. Yeah. I mean, that's a look. Not too good of a pitch out, but still a look at the birdie. I do have a look right here, but we got a tree in the middle. I'm going to try to extend this piece of paper as much as possible so I can swing a putt in there. I'd say about 50 feet right here for the bird. Drop. Sit. Oh man, that was brutal. Yeah, terrible roll away here. Now we got thorns on my back and no real way to get any power. So I'm gonna have to go spinny high. Oh man. This is gonna be the blow up hole. Really, this one? Any putt, I guess. Yeah, that's it. Man. Here's hole 14. This is another common Carolina Woods golf hole. You know, there's a ton of gaps to pick from, but they're all tight gaps. It is 245. It's a par 3, and the stream is within the circle of the basket. So I think the line that I like the best is going to be this hyzer out to the right side. Just pushy hyzer. There is a turnover line right there that I may try, but I think I'm going to pump this hyzer with the alpaca, the inblend alpaca. Try to get there. Low ceiling, though. Stay left. That should be wonderful. Oh, yeah. I'm going to throw this turnover as well, just to try it out. Well, held that really inside, but that's also a look at the birdie. If you have not tried out the Infinite Disc Alpaca, it's really similar to a P2, if not the old P2 mold exactly, but they are stable. And that was a terrible putt, but that's another birdie. Hole 15 is a 185-foot chip shot, but really cut off of a forehand, slightly uphill. It's either like a scepter or a splice, so I'm gonna chuck the splice out there and then just play the putt. And if it's bad, then I'll throw a scepter in tournament. I think this is one, if you come up to it, you want to get the birdie. I should be in, there's like a little crevice behind the basket. I pushed the left side so hard, but the splice is so stable. Oh yeah. We got really lucky. Maybe I can even saw this even more off with the splice, but about a 20-footer coming back. There we go. Putting's been pretty good today, man. It's been pretty dang good. Here is hole 16 of Seneca Champ. This is a 570, 580 foot par 5 that starts pretty downhill and then it cuts back up into a lot of different gaps going way uphill. I think Eagle is pretty gettable on this one. I'm not sure if this is the exact tee. It may be the one back there that is, I think, one of the most iconic holes on this course because you have a really nice gap hit. But if you pure it, you have a chance. So I'm going to throw Skywalker 2. Just essentially how I've been throwing it all day. Just pushy hyzers, maybe a little bit flat. Just try to stay in the fairway. Stay in the fairway. Oh, cracked on a tree. I do want to play this hole regardless, because this is one I was really looking forward to. I'm going to play a Roman just dead straight. Just slightly more up the hill that you're throwing from, but even longer. Tougher gap hit. That's going to hurt. Since we rolled down the hill a little bit, and now we're on a pure uphill stance, I think the Eagle is out of play, so I'm going to play I'll lock my feet into the ground and then play like a flippy standstill here with the Crave. I should be able to get up and down for a bird if at worst a par. Oh, we got a really tough one right here. See a roller angle. See if I can lay it down with the titanium zone. We hit dead center of a tree. I think this is, yeah, a really uphill like 120-foot putt. May have to go down to the side and jump putt here. That might be the worst putt ever that ends up in the bullseye. Been working on like the sideways drawback for circle 2, and sometimes I pull it really right, and that's what happened, and we got really lucky. Well, that was a scramble field par. Going into the final 2, which I know are pretty gettable birdies. Hole 17 is a 170, 180 foot par 3 that's really uphill. Tight gaps all around, so I'm just gonna try to punch through with the splice. It's really overstable, partially distance control, partially just, you know, the disc is a little bit skinnier when it gets vertical. So, see if we can get something here. Oh, we got skinny, and now we got a 35, 40 footer to the left of the basket. I was incorrect. We got about 25, 30 feet right here for the birdie. Just really, really guarded. Man, these things catch. These baskets have caught right all day. We finished off with a 620 to 630 foot par 5, I believe, for hole 18. You essentially got a tunnel that just goes straight and slowly winds to the left, more and more left, into a green that is similar to hole 1 with the raised basket. So I'm going to throw a PD here off the tee, so I just want to go straight and then fade. Just throw this slight hyzer and let it push. Get left. As far as I know, that should be pretty good as long as you can see that. Essentially a perfect tee shot right here. Really good distance, really good position. I'd say borderline eagle look here, but I'd say 350 to 400 still in. Or it feels like that, but it's a pushing hyzer that I'm going to throw with the Roman. Goes up this gap and then slightly to the left. See if I can get it done. Too much hyzer. That is a look at the eagle, I believe. Man, what a round. Pretty sure we scored pretty nice. So, put the mini down. Look at a 25 to 30 footer on a raised basket for the eagle on hole 18. What a finish this would be. Oh, man. Of course, that one falls. That's another birdie regardless. So we played that hole to a tee. Shaver Rec Center in Seneca, South Carolina, in the Seneca Championship layout. Phenomenal course. If you're watching on my channel right here, I hope you enjoyed another installment of Bucket List Birdies. This is a course I've wanted to play for a long time, ever since I filmed it as catch cam, and this exceeded all my expectations. I love this course. I love the way that you have to score, and there's a lot of different shot shapes that you have to throw. So, thank you for watching, and have a good one.